And I would like to welcome you all to our second part of our trip to Tanzania for our travel edition of the Lunch Club with Lou. Lou is currently in Tanzania right now, and I'll be assisting and sharing some videos and pictures that he'll be talking about his projects and other things in Tanzania. So again, thank you, Lou, so much for presenting from Tanzania. It's such a great opportunity and utilization of Zoom to be able to present this session today. So again, the floor is yours, and thank you so much for coming on to our session.
Well, thank you all. It's such a joy to have you all on the phone here. As I mentioned, I have a guest today. It's one of our travelers, Steve Popovich from Detroit, Michigan, and we're so delighted to have him. We've got lots of video and pictures to share for you today. So let's get the show on the road. Alex, do you have any pictures and things like that queued up?
Sure. While I do that, do you mind just introducing again yourselves and just a little bit about what you'll be covering today while I pull that up?
Sure. So I know the seniors all know who I am. I lead the travel shows on Fridays, and we are doing a service trip in Tanzania for 2 weeks. The first week just completed, installing computers in schools and providing teachers with training and how to use them, with the hope that they then train students to use those computers and have better opportunities in their lives. And next week we're heading off to a different school, which will be exciting. And it's in a different part of Tanzania, but not too far away, about a 3-hour drive. And joining me on this trip, really making this trip possible, are a number of volunteers, both from the United States and from Tanzania. So let me ask Steve to introduce himself. Give him a little more. Steve, can you give us a little more background on yourself and why you got involved in this project?
Greetings, everyone. I'm Steve Popovich. Glad to be with you. I'm volunteering, helping out Lou with these service trips into Tanzania. I got involved because I really have a passion for helping children and making sure we care for our children through great education. So we have a great computer system and a lab that we build for the children in these schools. And I get a lot out of it, self-actualization. And we're here, and greetings from northeastern Tanzania.
Great. Thank you, Steve. So to make our trip possible, we began in Arusha, Tanzania last week, and I shared some pictures with you there. A lot of that involved acquiring the equipment we needed for the schools. So we brought
Hey Lou, you went out. Hey Lou, are you there?
school, you really need some
Hey,
education
hey
software.
Lou, can you hear us?
So
You went out for a minute,
yes,
Lou. You went out for a minute.
but am I picking up?
Yes, you went out for a minute, about a minute or so. Hey Lou, you went out for a minute.
Sorry about that.
Can you
Yeah,
say that
so
again, please? Thank you.
yeah, the internet's really bad. It might be better on my telephone. If it stays bad, I'm going to switch to my phone. Okay, everybody?
I'll let you know.
Okay. So we have all of our computers. We have all the supplies we need. We just completed the very first school. It was a 5-day project in right between Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Meru, the valley in between those two. And it was a very, very good project. So, Alex, why don't you go queue up some of those pictures and let's start going through them.
Yeah?
They're not in any necessary order, so we'll be jumping around.
Yeah. So you see the one that we have currently on the screen, is that right?
Yes, I do. Okay. Well, Steve, where is that? I'm trying to place that. Are we in Greenport.
We're in Laguke.
You think, I think it's too nice for
Yeah.
Laguke.
Too nice for Laguke.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, I'll just say that we're somewhere in Arusha, not knowing where we are. We sit down in outdoor cafes and eat, and this is very typical. Actually, this is a really nice one, to be honest with you. Let's go to the next slide, Alex. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're still good to go, Lou.
Oh, can you go to the next slide? Advance
I
to the
did.
next slide.
You may see it a little later. Do you see it now?
Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, great. So here we are. Here's Steve teaching with Hecky. So Steve, maybe you can explain the Rachel system in a second, but before you do that, Hecky, the gentleman on the left, the African gentleman on the right, excuse me, wearing the Wild Tech shirt, he's one of our volunteers from Tanzania, and he's also driving. And we're projecting education content during this teacher training. Steve, tell us a little bit about what you're doing here.
Okay, so
Steve, can you
what we
speak up
did
a
was
little bit? Lou, can you hear us, Lou? Hey, Lou, are you there? Lou, we cannot hear you. All right. Again, you all, Lou is literally in Tanzania right now. So again, the connection, it's great that he was able to get that. I think he's trying to get on his phone so he'll be able to present from there. But yeah, thank you all so much for your patience, you all. We'll just be going through some more photos. Just there is quite a few that he sent. So when he comes back on, he'll be able to speak about those. So I'll spend about a minute or so on each photo, so you could all take a look. Again, hopefully Lou will be able to come back on and again talk about these different photos and videos as well. Hey Lou, are you back on your phone?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah, we can hear you, Lou. You went out again on the other on your other device.
Yeah, the hotel internet's really bad, so I shifted to my mobile phone.
Yeah, it's
So,
much better. It's much better.
great,
So
great. All right, so we should be okay for the rest of the presentation now. Steve, can you tell us what you're seeing?
Yeah, okay, so that's me standing here pointing at the
it's a little harder to hear you,
what
Steve.
all of these teachers have are these laptops, and these laptops can connect to a device about this size. It's called a Rachel, and that stands for Remote Area Community Hotspot for Education and Learning, Rachel. So that's an acronym. And on this Rachel, they've taken all the educational content off of the internet. So this is all educational content from primary through secondary school. And this includes things like algebra, chemistry, physics, astronomy, reading, writing, arithmetic, art, poetry, and all of these learning materials are on here. So they really don't have to access the internet. It's very costly to access the internet in Tanzania, and plus software is all licensed ware.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Go ahead to the next slide, guys.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for so much for being on the call today.
No, you did great, great. All right, so here we are in the classroom again, folks. This is a picture of the teachers using this education content system, and they're all excited about it. Many of these teachers have never used a computer before. In fact, we polled the students in a presentation today asking how many own computers, and you can count them on one hand. And there were close to 500 kids in that room. So it's a real different world out here. Go ahead to the next slide, Alex. Great. I think. So again, more pictures of teachers using the computers, and the classes are continuing, and things are going well. Can you go to the next slide? Alex, go ahead and go to the next slide.
Yes. It's again, it'll take a second on your end for it to show, Lou.
I'm sorry. All right, now here we are finally seeing some of the students. So Steve and I are standing on the outside of the building, and we are looking at the, we're looking at the students. The students are looking at us, and we're just absolutely enthralled to be with them. I do have a warning. Now my phone is close to going dead, so we're trying to work through some of these challenges here.
I just want to point out that the color of the uniforms kind of indicates the grades that they're in. So you're seeing blue here, but as pictures, you might see green or black.
Great. All right. Thanks for the message, Harold. Next slide. Oh, Alex, are you there?
Yes, Lou, I changed it. I think that's Steve and do you see the picture, Lou? Hey, Lou, are you there? Lou, are you there? Again, Lou is in Tanzania, so we definitely have to understand that sometimes his connection may go out. Let's see if he comes back in to the meeting. Okay, thank you. And again, we'll be going through some pictures. That was the picture from the flyer today. I know these photos are nice, very clear. Looks to be right. I can only imagine, Mr. Harold. Thank you. But they look so happy. I love that. And just waiting for Lou to come back on if he can. Some more pictures. I think Steve was talking about the colors of the uniform, I guess indicating their grade level, I guess. But again, there's some great pictures taken in Tanzania. Yeah, look at the trees, look at the leaves. The houses are amazing. I wonder what the material is for the house. Yep, very clear. That's amazing, right? These are one-of-a-kind photos. More pictures of the school, more volunteers. And just seeing if Lou is able to come back on, but just going through the pictures and videos. More volunteers. Wow, I mean the desks, I mean those chairs, I mean they look very aesthetically pleasing, right? I love the wood and I like how everything is structured. Looks like a real good school, you know? So again, just going through these pictures, seeing if Lou is able to come back on. I get this was a picture he was on the road. Let's see more. I guess even though these are not the clearest ones, I guess, because if you're in the car, I guess have to stay still is pretty difficult, but love it. With just look how green these plants and this vegetation is. I wonder what kind of trees they are. Upendo. Yeah, I think that is Upendo. Yes. Yeah, we heard from her last week during the call as well. But again, these are pictures in Tanzania. Again, it's literally a different continent, a different country. It's just amazing to just look at and see what how things are in other parts of the world, right? Some more photos. Oh my goodness. That is someone carrying. Goodness, I wish Lou was on so he could kind of explain this picture. It must have been a sight. That is very interesting. More pictures of Steve, and I love these Tanzania shirts. And wish Lou was on to explain more about these photos. And here are some videos as well. So I'll play these videos. And again, just any general thoughts on the photos or videos. Just please share them. And then I think I'll be able to share that video that we started last week and continue on with that mini documentary. So let's watch these videos, and again, let's hope that Luke comes back on.
Oh,
Again, look at the greenery. I mean, let me play that again. If I just pause for a second and just looking at that trail and everything, it's quite amazing. Oh, hey Lou, are
We're
you there?
back.
All right. I was just showcasing some of the other photos in the slideshow, so I'm back at the one that you left off at.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so here we are back in the school. Well, let's go quickly, because I know you have a lot of pictures. Here we are back at the school with some of the students, and they're just so excited to see us. Really tropical area. It gets a lot of rain though. Next slide, Alex.
Yes, you're covering your mic a little. It's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah, I don't. I'll do my best. I'm
Yeah,
charging my phone.
that's better, Lou. That sounds better. Thank you.
Okay. Next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Again with the students. We're excited. They're excited. Next slide. Yes, and it. Yeah, go, Steve. Where's this?
okay, this is behind the school, and this structure here is a water tank. So they collect the water, the rainwater, and also the rain off the mountain, and that provides water to the dormitories.
Great, thanks, Steve. Go ahead, next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is me down at the same water tank. You can see this.
Hey Lou, are you there? There. Yeah. What does the structure stand next to? Hey, Lou.
Alex, next slide.
Yes. You went out for a minute, Lou.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and advance to
Yes.
the next one.
Brenda asked, what is the structure that you're standing next to? I guess this structure, this is the portable water, right?
Yeah, it's a portable water. It's a water tank. It collects the rainwater and water off the mountain. Now you're looking at some of the school structures in the background.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Upendo, right, Lou and Steve?
Yeah, I have to go back up. Next slide.
Next slide.
Yeah, this is a Lou. Lou, this is Upendo, right, in the picture?
No, Upendo, that's Steve in the picture. That's the gentleman's. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's the famous Upendo.
Yes.
All right. These next two pictures, I think we're in a car, right, Lou? You were driving around.
The next two pictures I'm not seeing.
Gotta wait a minute.
So again, this is a hood of a car, and then I guess this was when you
Oh,
were on the road.
yeah. I want to show you what the road looks like going to the schools. It's a two-track road that's, very rocky, full of potholes. I think I even have a video going there. Each day we're challenged to find a path because we're getting a lot of rain and it's washing out, and it's really a challenge, but we got a good driver. And that's the city of Kwasenga. That's the city where the school is in. And that's a typical village, what a village looks like. And we're on our way to the school here. It's not raining at this point. But go ahead, next slide.
Thank you. Yvonne asked, is the housing built by the government or the occupants?
It's built by the occupants. So most of the houses are like a concrete brick kind of thing for the walls. And then most of the ceilings are made out of corrugated metal. So it gets a little noisy when it rains over there because of the wet metal coming down. And this might be a hard one for you guys to pick up on, but there's somebody carrying firewood, and most cooking is done on the open fire. So firewood is really something that's people really need over there. And we're driving here to the school.
That's an amazing picture, Lou. Brenda asked, have you encountered any wild animals?
Steve, how would you answer that?
No wild animals. And even some of the birds are like there's so much leaf cover that you really can't see any of the birds. The only thing we see is agriculture animals, cows, goats, and turkeys. Anything else that you've seen, Luke?
No, yeah, I was commenting to Steve today or yesterday that we see more wildlife in Florida than we see in Africa, and it's actually become far less so. When I was here years ago, we would see occasional wildlife, but in folks, we are right on the border with a fairly large national park. I mean, it's not like we're in the city or anything. We're really in the country, and we're within probably 100 feet many times of a national park. But even still, we haven't seen really any wildlife, have we? No, none. We were told by one of the occupants that the elephants come down to their farm from time to time, and they're not exactly a popular guest because they eat the crops.
And the people from left to right here. First is Joseph. Second is Oswald. Then myself, and air stab again in front of our the only transportation that would get us up the mountain to the school.
Yep.
Here are some videos now, Lou.
Oh, great. Excited by that. I'm not even sure what I sent you.
Oh. Yeah, here we're walking to the school. Where are you heading?
So some restaurant, someplace. I'm going to stick around here. I got to call the seniors.
No, I'll stick
around. Okay, folks, is a video playing right now, or are you holding up the play? All right, thanks for the input, Steve. All right, Steve has left us, so you guys were down to me again. So here we are walking on the road. This is a typical road going out to the school. It's what we travel on every single day, and the driving is a bit dicey, but we've got a great driver, and the weather's been rainy, so that's been a challenge too. But you see how tropical and lush everything is, and it's just really quite an experience. And then here we are arriving at the school itself. This is the sister of one of the people who helped
Kwasenga
organize
Secondary
this
School,
program.
the school we're working at.
Her, her name is Enezel, and the name of the school is Kwasenga. That's its big emblem on the side of the building there. And we're just now walking in for the very first time. This is actually one of the best secondary schools I have ever seen in East Africa. The headmaster, which is the principal, really takes good care of the school. So the students are very lucky. Alex, is that on my side or your side?
No, it's my side. I had to switch over devices, Lou.
Okay.
Kwasenga Secondary School, the school we're working at.
I like they have the whole sign. It's so big.
Oh yeah, they painted the whole side of the school. Any thoughts or comments about what you're seeing so far from any of the seniors? Like any thoughts
Kwasenga
about the
Secondary School,
environment or the
the
school?
school we're working at.
Please raise your
Any
hand
thoughts about the
if
students?
you would like to share any thoughts. Again, any thoughts or questions, please raise your hand if you'd like to share. You can
Hey,
also
Alex, have you gone through all the videos already?
No, Lou, there are a couple more. But again,
Okay.
any thoughts or on these videos or pictures, please raise your hand in Zoom. I guess we can go to. Oh wait, no, this was the last. This was the last video. You only sent me 2 videos, Lou. So those were all the pictures. We could, go through them just quickly one more time, I guess. But any questions, and you can raise your hand or you can use the chat. But I'll be going through the pictures while we answer those. Yvonne asks, are the desks in the pictures, are they built by the local workers?
Yeah, pretty much everything is. They don't have a big like factories like we have in the U.S. Making mass producing things. So a lot of everything is produced. Most things are produced handcrafted locally. What's interesting is that you often see people cutting trees down with metal saws rather than power saws, and you even see them cutting planks. So imagine how planks were cut years ago in America, where they were cross-cutting the trees along the length of the trunk, and you still see folks doing that here. I've had some great conversations with Steve Popovich, whose son is involved in a sustainability thing. And Steve's hitting it back to me. Steve, what does your son say about how many Earths it would take to support people? And can you share a little bit about that? Because, you could say that, yeah, they need to catch up with us, but you can also say we need to be a whole lot more like them. And Steve, can you share a little bit about that?
One of the things is when they do the calculations, if all the world is brought up to consume like the U.S., like North America and Europe, we will need 7 Earths to just meet the demand. So it's interesting that we might have to, to perpetuate the Earth, like for thousands of years, we might have to de-develop a little bit and just come more in balance with the Earth and the resources.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Harold said, good work you're doing, Lou. The potable, safe to drink water is so important for a lot of reasons.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So also these schools are all using solar power as well, so they're very eco-friendly.
Great. We have a question from Mr. Thomas. You have a comment or a question for Lou or Steve? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed that when they were in the room with the students, most of the students, if not all, were male. Where were the females? Are they culturally not permitted to practice together?
Actually, yeah, it just happened to be where the males were working on some assignment, and we took a picture. There's actually more females at this school than males.
Oh, really? That's
Wow.
nice to know.
So good question. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments about these videos and pictures? Anything that you notice? So these are great quality photos. Like, I mean, this is one that was very surprising. I mean, just to see for the first time. Like these are crystal clear photos and videos, so they're definitely one of a kind. So again, thank you for taking these and for sharing them with us today.
It's my pleasure.
What has been your guys' favorite part of the trip so far?
Steve, what do you think? What's been our favorite part of the trip so far?
Well, for me, it's always just, meeting and greeting the children, right? They're so friendly, they're so outgoing, so polite, and they're eager to learn. Yeah, I think for me, the delight is just being with the children.
And I would definitely concur with that. That's what we're here for. And they're so amazed, I think, by folks from the outside because they don't see folks from the outside all that much. And so, that's all the smiling faces and genuine happiness. It's really a blessing to be around them.
Thank you, Lou. I have some questions in the chat and a hand. So first, Yvonne asked, how are parents involved?
How are parents involved?
Yeah, with the kids in the school.
Well, I could share a little bit about that just from past work. We haven't seen that many parents, but each school has a school management committee. It's called the SMC, and that's like the parent teacher association, the PTA, and the parents have very strong engagement in the schools as far as guiding it and even providing funding, capital improvements, things like that. They're regularly collecting money from family members to add add new buildings or new infrastructure. Of course, the government provides the vast majority. But hold on for a second, Steve, what? Is Hecky there? Hey, let me give Hecky some money for dinner. He needs some money for dinner.
Can you buy?
I'm paying for Hecky.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see how Lou is literally in Tanzania right now buying dinner. That's amazing, right?
I'm back.
Yes, thank you for answering that, Lou. Our next question or comment is from Denise, and thanks for coming on.
Hi. Yeah, Lou, I wanted to ask you, do they keep the doors locked to the schools or because of the equipment they keep in there? Because I know their houses, they don't have locks on their doors.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that again?
I said, I said, do they keep locks on the school doors because of the equipment they have in there? Because I know their houses, they don't have locks on their doors.
Yeah,
Like
you're
we
raising a
have.
really good point that security is really important. We've had issues with schools and things getting stolen in the past. Interestingly, it may not be what you think. As far as people living in pretty rough conditions and then having these valuable devices around. Uh, by by far, by and large, everybody's extremely honest. The students are extremely honest. They're extremely obedient. It's very much a culture of pretty much everybody sticks to the rules. Uh, and I'd say far more than any school I've ever attended. Students are wearing these are government schools. Schools are wearing standard uniforms. Students are wearing uniforms, very well behaved, attending class on time. And that's one of the most remarkable things about it. Where we've had issues with things coming up missing is more from the administration standpoint, to be honest with you. People taking, liberties sometimes. I don't want to name names or even name schools, but
Yeah.
that's really the only place we've seen things missing is
Mm.
is at an administration level or the older folks. But even
Yeah.
that's very rare. Even that's very rare.
Oh. And that's something how they can keep their doors unlocked. And we here in the United States right here, we gotta lock our doors. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But that's
We sure
good.
do.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you, Denise.
I
Really
mean,
appreciate
you look
it.
at the surroundings; they look harsh, and it looks like there's a lot of poverty. But people have been living in these areas for a million years.
Mm-hmm.
This is their homeland,
Yeah.
and so a lot of their behaviors and cultures and norms, really drilled into them about what to do and what not to do, and it's actually quite quite surprising and quite amazing. We've had no
Yes.
issues with anybody being in any way unkind to us. Everybody's smiling, happy. It's really something to
Mm-hmm.
behold.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I was just
Yeah,
curious
Thank you,
about the
Denise. For,
schools. I knew the houses, but the schools, I figured because of the equipment and stuff is in there, they lock the doors. Okay, well,
yeah.
thank you. Have a good weekend.
All right. Thanks for asking.
thank you, Denise. Lou, Yvonne in the chat asked, or no, sorry, Geraldine, do you have any idea about who gets to go to the school?
Any idea about who gets to go to the school? Um, yeah, I do have an idea. The It is a government school. There's no school fees. It's free for everybody, and so it's really open. What I will say is the older the grades get, the more it's only boys going to schools. The more only boys are attending, the older the grades get.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I
that's probably not the most popular answer to that.
yeah, I
And
think
that's
you should
really
back
unfortunate. It's
that.
really unfortunate.
Hmm. Thank you so much for answering that, Lou. Really appreciate it. Yvonne asked, are the students' credits honored abroad or by other local high schools and universities?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Students' credits. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know. We never really talk with the teachers and the students and all that about how they accumulate credits to graduate. It's just never come up. So unfortunately, I really can't answer that question. Uh, I will say that I will say that the government schools are managed by a government entity that brings uniformity between the schools. So I have every reason to believe that there's probably some way of students transferring from school to school. These are secondary schools, high schools. So students are all pushing to get graduation certificates.
Thank you, Lou. Appreciate your answer. Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments? Um, uh, Lou, if you maybe give us a sneak peek about what your week will look like for next week. You know, it is your last week there. And over here, you know, it's Memorial Day on Monday, so we'll be off that Monday. So any other questions, please raise your hand or put in the chat. But what's your week looking like, Lou?
Yeah, so our next week we're staying at this, decent hotel, nice hotel in Arusha, Tanzania tonight. And then next week we're heading off to Babati, Tanzania. And Babati is another small town that has lots of nice students and schools for us to work in. So we're excited about that. And we're going to be installing a computer lab there, consisting of 20 computers in a secondary in a primary school, and 15 computers are going to a academy over there. It's a Cisco academy where more advanced skills will be provided. So we'll be doing that for 5 days, and then we're heading back to meet folks at World Vision to talk about our future. So that's pretty much it. Then we fly out. We finish on Friday and we fly out on Saturday. And I'll be back in DC, God willing, on Sunday. And I'll be back in the office on Monday.
Wonderful, Lou. Thank you. Miss Thelma in the chat asked, do they cook on pot bellow stoves or a hole in the ground?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Miss Thelma asked, do they cook on pot bellow stoves or a hole in the ground? So how do they cook over there?
Yeah, almost everybody cooks on an open fire. And the way that they cook in the rural communities that we're in is that they take 3 cinder blocks and they build a fire, and those 3 cinder blocks, they set a really big kettle on top of it. And then they put wood between the cinder blocks for the for the heat. So they start a wood fire between 3 cinder blocks, and then they let the fire burn down to charcoal, and then they put the pot on, and that's pretty much it.
Wow, thank you so much. You know, it's a different land, different continent. How does it feel over there compared to the United States? Like, how does being there make you feel?
What's that?
How does, you're in a whole nother continent right now, Lou. So how does it feel being in Tanzania versus you feeling here?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's interesting. It's a different way of life. People are kind and friendly. I think that you feel like you're far away. That's for sure. And that's, I guess this. I have a unique role because I'm actually leading this trip. I'm not just taking a vacation. I'm leading 6 other people, and I'm leading people in a pretty intense environment. I mean, we're having to rent Land Cruisers to get to where we're going, and going through huge potholes and crossing rivers that are blocking the road, and it's a bit intimidating, and it's especially intimidating because I'm responsible for everybody. And I'll be honest with you, because most of us are seniors on this call except Alex. I'm really questioning if I'm too old for this, folks, because it's a lot of stress. But it's not so much the stress of the people or the place. It's the stress of being responsible for all the folks on this trip. And yeah, in a pretty intense environment. And maybe if I was in my 40s or 50s, I'd feel a little different. But in my mid 60s, 65, it's definitely something to consider.
Oh, Wow, thank you for that experience, Lou. Myself, I've never been out the countries yet, so it's just great to hear that perspective. Mr. Harold said, "Looks like a wonderful place to visit. Blessings to you, Lou, Steve, and all those that are there." And he said, "Good stuff, Lou. I've had that experience. I'm sure you have with the travels that you've shared, Mr. Harold. So I know it feels different." But thank you for also being honest and sharing that it could be stressful, especially with, having to lead the trip and to make sure, everything is okay with what you're doing, but with the people involved. So, that takes a lot of courage. So, kudos to you, Lou, on everything that you're doing.
All right. Well, thanks, folks. I think we're probably towards the top of the hour now, right?
Yes. Yes. Any last thoughts or any last words for the group before we end for today? But make sure you all attend our last part for Lou's Tanzania trip next Friday at 12 p.m. Mr. Harold, did you have a quick question or a comment for Lou? Do you want to share something really quick before we end for today?
No, Alex, I was hitting the wrong button. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for your chats today. I really appreciate it, Mr. Harold. But again, thank you, Lou, so much for presenting today and for sharing these pictures with us. And we really look forward to our final part next Friday at 12 p.m. Let's all thank Lou for a wonderful presentation, and thank you for being patient with the connections. And I hope you all enjoyed the videos and pictures. And again, let's all thank Lou for a wonderful presentation. See you next week, Lou.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Lou.
This week we're okay.
Stay
Sounds good.
safe
Thank
and
you.
be blessed.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank
safe.
Bye,
Mhm.
everybody.
See you all at one.
Thank you,
Bye.
Lou.
Happy
Bye.
Memorial Day.
Thank you.
Thank you
too
so
now.
much.
1:30 today, everyone. Thank you so much, Lou.
Thanks. Bye, all.
See you.
Bye-bye. Be
Bye.
safe. Be safe.
See you all soon. Thank you.